All right. How's everybody doing? Joseph Sunderman here. Creative tech, but not the creative tech, just another creative tech like the rest of you, because we're all using technology nowadays, especially if you're watching this. And it's not so much about being a geek and being into technology. It's about how you live with technology. And being a creative technologist means that you're using technology to live life with purpose and that you have a desired state and you're going after it. Again, my name is Joseph Sunderman. I'm the owner of IKORA, and we started this Creative Tech Here lab in a way to help us start training individuals and getting our methods, our methodology, and our frameworks and our workflows down for helping people get to that desired state, to truly help them understand what it is they're doing, how to do it better, and to get to that desired state using technology and best practices, what I like to call contemporary leadership or modern workforce methodologies. So today we have a focus, and I'll explain a little bit about what focus and topics are. I do that in every episode just to practice that spiel, I guess. But essentially what we do here is we have a focus, which today's focus is objectives. And objectives is derived from our objectives versus matters pipeline, but we're just focused on the objective side of that today. And we'll get a little bit more into that. But the objectives is basically anything that you can control, any of the projects you need to do, whether it's personal or professional. These are the things that you do in life to help you get where you want to be. And if you don't know where you're going, you could be doing projects and not really having a direction. But that's sometimes subconsciously, we're just really into this hobby, or we're doing stuff and we're developing ourselves, but really what we don't know is we're designing our life. But when you kind of step back from things and do things with intent, we can start defining things and creating ways for us not to be wasting energy and allowing us to really progress through things. And that gets us into our first topic today. We have 3 topics for that focus of objectives. Topic number 1 today is going to be progress. I mean, why did we create objectives? Why do we use them? And I'm going to tell you right now that we were already doing objectives. We just wasn't really doing it in a formal, clear, consistent way. And as we developed consistent ways of doing these things, then was born Objectives versus Matters. So I got the iPad here today. I'm going to try something new. I wanted to be able to use my iPad and share it on the screen, and we're able to do that now. So I tested it out earlier on a stream this morning. It's Saturday, and I got up at 5 a.m. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I know that yesterday it was a little bit hectic, and I went to bed at like 1 something in the morning on Thursday night and woke up at 5 a.m. yesterday. So yesterday was rough. And Fridays are my days, but I really didn't feel like it was. Sometimes Fridays don't end up being my days. Even though I keep that calendar clear, there's so much stuff that's going through the week that Friday comes and and that was one of those days yesterday. So I was ready to go to bed at 9 o'clock last night, and I passed out by 10, and 5 o'clock came around. I woke up with 7 hours of sleep, feeling like a new man. And I'm like, let's get it going. So here we are. Now, second topic of today, progress. Was the first topic. Second topic is going to be, I believe, action. No, that's the third topic. Shoot. Hold on, let me pull up my notes here. I got it. I just closed out all of my stuff and meant to open it up. I'm rushing today. That's another thing we're going to talk about when we get into the episode. Again, these are our sessions, and we do these sessions for our clients to some degree, but this is more of a team and a quarterly practice where we're doing this every week for an hour. So this is a little bit different, but it's the same concept. We look at what we're currently doing within the organization on the IKORA side of things with sessions. We look at where we are quarterly, where do we want to be next quarter, and we create a training session quarterly to do that. Well, here every week, we spend an hour on developing the creative tech, and we just have this hour conversation on a focus around the creative tech and how it's important, why it's important, how it's applied, and what you need to do moving forward. And then there's just a lot going on. There's so much going on, and I'm going to overwhelm everybody because I'm always giving out too much, but keeping it focused. We're doing objectives versus matters. Today's focus is just on the objectives portion. We have 3 topics that explain why, how, and what to do. And yeah, we're going to get into all that. Let me get to my team here on Saturday sessions. And today's second topic is strategy. Yes, progress is the first topic. Secondly, we need to have strategy. And we're going to talk about desired state today. Really, that's all we do is help people go from their current state to get to their desired state. That's essentially all it is. And you can be granular with that, like, oh, we don't have this software and we want to have it. So our current state is we don't have it. The desired state is we do have it and it's in production. What do we have to do to get there? That objective will have tasks assigned to it. And there's all these things that go along with that. But how do you get good at doing reps? How do you get good at doing projects, objectives? And the more you do, you'll see that you're getting better at them. And that really, right there is an art in and of itself. Getting good at doing objectives. I want to be so good at knocking out projects. We already are good at knocking out projects, but as we get busier, as we get more clients, and we still have the same size team, we start to feel a little bit pressed. We're busting at the seams. Well, we'll start creating processes and systems to simplify, because I noticed that we're doing a lot of things inconsistently, that if we start doing them consistently, we'll free up some time, and now we can take on that. Or we hire somebody. Do we do an improvement internally, or do we hire somebody? Or money talks, right? So if you're looking around, you notice that you can do more if you were a little bit smarter about it, and you could save a lot of money by doing that, or we could just spend money. What would you do? For me, I want to be as efficient and cost effective as possible. So that's what we're doing. All right. And one way that we've derived of getting from the current state to the desired state is that we need to qualify the work that we're doing. So let's keep it stupid simple. We have a service desk to support the tech stacks for our clients. Essentially, it's break fixes. When I came into the picture, that's all it was break fix. And yeah, clients would have projects. We'd go in there and we would just sell them a server, go in there and install it. And it is a project, but we're not using project software. We're getting it done, onboarding them, showing them what they need to know, and setting them on their way and waiting for the next time they call us for something. So yeah, going from break fix. And when I came into the picture, the desired state was to become a managed service provider. And we're wrapping that up now. 10 years. And it could have been done much quicker in 10 years, but we were enjoying the journey. We were growing and learning, and we didn't spend the capital and all the, extra time on doing all these things that, had we done them, yeah, we'd be there sooner. But we built this foundationally. We did this organically ourselves. And by doing that and enjoying that journey and growing from that journey, we are so much more valuable from it. I mean, just because you have more clients doesn't mean you're making good money. If you can foundationally build up your systems, and that's what we're talking about today as a creative tech, is you as a person can take on objectives versus matters as a framework of mind. And we're only focused on the objective side of things. And I'll throw in matters. I'll let you guys know what that's about. We have time. We have a full hour, and we're only 10 minutes into it. So let's go ahead and kick off into today's show. And let's talk enough about what objectives are and how they're the projects, the things we can control. Kind of all over the place. I need to get an agenda going. We are working on improvements as we go with this whole thing. And also to help us stay on track with what we're talking about, and to help me get better at doing this, because that's part of this. This is the 24th episode. Is that right? Is this number 24? My God, this is the 24th episode. I mean, think about when we get to 100. We're almost a quarter of the way to 100. And that's weeks. There's 52 in a year. And we're almost we've been doing this for 6 months. I did take 2 weeks off when I went on vacation. I planned on doing this show while I was on my vacation, but Saturday at 1 when we're at Disney, I'm not going to step aside for an hour. And I even had shows ready to go, so I didn't have to work on them during the thing. I ended up doing those when I got back, which it would have been nice to kept that up and had shows in advance, because like today, rushing to the very last second. But we're going to get better at this whole streaming thing and making a show with structure and having that formula. It's developing as we speak, and that's what this is. IKORA is the business that supports teams and organizations meet their technology goals, go from their current state to their desired state. Not only with technology, but with their workforce as well. That's been a new component we've added on over the last year. And what I'm excited about now is that with the creative tech, by creating this lab to use our sessions training program and to work on individuals, I've actually started doing individual sessions with clients, which has actually been very promising in helping those individuals within their overall objectives and matters for the organization. We all have our personal objectives and matters. Even at work, you have objectives and matters. And matters are the things we can't control that get in our way. You can plan. You know, we're going to get all of that. Let me set up this iPad sharing thing. Again, I think this is a cool little thing I want to try out. So let's go ahead and throw this up here. Bloop, bloop. Nope, wrong thing. That one. Boom. So as you can see, I've got my iPad screen here, and I am going to open up the free format. Boom. And here we are. And I got my handy pencil. So we're going to talk today a little bit around. See how this is working out. Yep, we don't want that tool. This guy. All right. So remember, we have one focus, which is objectives. And we have progress. We have 2. We have strategy. And we have 3, which is action. Now, because I'm anal about shit. Come on. Action. So these are our 3 topics. Okay. Progress. That's why we have objectives. We wanted to get better, and we wanted to be able to see our progress and show our progress over time. And so what we did, we started tracking our projects by I don't care what it was, how small or how big it was. Anything that's labeled or qualifies as a project goes into the objectives pipeline. Anything that's a ticket that qualifies as a ticket goes to the service desk. That's a ticket. That's a matter. That's an issue. So, it's not always a problem. They could be adding a user, just like in law. In fact, that's where I got the term was from law. I was helping an attorney build out their systems. I need help. I need a moderator. Somebody come in and kill music and stuff last time. All right. So I apologize for I'm excited. I'm talking a lot. I'm all over the place. And again, the structure's coming along. I'm really hoping this iPad thing, especially if I can draw out the show to some degree before we get into it. This is all part of the progress. And if you stick around, if you've seen episode 1, episode 5, episode 15, and now episode 24, you'll see those improvements as you go. I don't expect anybody to go back. I wouldn't watch. I have went back and reviewed some, but I've never watched one of my old episodes. This is all about learning right now. And when I start getting traction, or people going, hey, that was a really good show, and it was an hour long, then I am somewhere. I'm hoping we're there by episode 100. So staying focused on this. Progress is topic number 1. Strategy to get you from your current state to your desired state is number 2. And the action that you need to take. Action is what you do for topic number 3. Let me try this one more time. Why are objectives so important to the creative tech? Well, you need to make progress. That's why. And how do you get the most out of objectives as a creative tech? Well, you got to have a good strategy. And we're going to cover that a little bit. And then 3, what do you need to do as a creative tech to get the most out of objectives? Take action. That's what you need to do. So we're going to talk about those 3 topics in depth during this episode. And to take a moment back, what we do at IKORA group is we help client organizations with their tech stack. But what we realized with their tech stack is that not everybody knew how to use the tech stack, not their workforce anyway. So we had to come in and say, hey, we're going to design an admin team, which is made up of the gatekeepers, leads, and influencers within your organization. We're going to label what everybody is. And if they're not a lead or an influencer, they're a standard user. Everybody's a user, but somebody may have the extra attribute as an influencer or a lead. And there's only one gatekeeper within the organization. That's the main point of contact that works with us. That way, decision making, you have to have structure in order to get clear and effective decision making processes in place. And the confidence that you have when you build out structures, when you have your true anchors of data, and your anchors are the things that we want to think about or refer to when we have to do something. Now, initiatives and objectives, these are the big things that companies do to they list these out and they focus on those to help them make decisions properly. Because if you're working on your objectives and taking care of matters in anything in your organization, and shit just happens, things get in your way, and you got to know how to answer those things. Because if you're answering your objectives and your matters just winging it and blindly doing it, if you don't have those anchors in mind of where you're trying to go to, you could be making decisions that blindly take you in directions that take you away from that anchor. So what we do and what we teach here is how to label things. Not and every organization is different, and every organization is going to say, well, that's an objective, and somebody says, oh no, that's a matter to us. Well, it doesn't matter what it is to anybody else. It's what matters what it is to you and your team, and how you guys are aligned in tackling these objectives and matters. And the reason why I developed all this and got into all this is because I like working. I used to think, well, I like working, I'm just going to work for myself because I don't like working with people. Then I started thinking, well, I don't like working with people because I don't know how to lead them. I see some people that have people working with them and they're building great big things, and I can't get past this small thing. So these guys, they know how to organize and get people behind their why, and start reading some books. You start figuring it out and go, oh my God, leadership skills. So God, I am all over the place. All right. Matters. Back to matters for a second. I was helping a law firm build out their tech plan and their objectives matters workflow. And at the time, I didn't have any of this terminology. This was over a year ago. I was like, okay, so let's go ahead and let's go over your issues. Like, what kind of issues do you deal with? Because at the time, I was calling them projects and issue tickets. And she's like, well, not everything's an issue for us. I'm like, okay, well, what problems are you solving for your clients? Well, it's not always a problem we're solving. And in hindsight, it is a problem they're solving. I need a will. They don't have a will. Their desire state is to get a will, so they're going to solve that problem. But to them, it wasn't a problem. It was just, it's something that needs to be done. You can live life fine without it, but if you don't have it, I guess it's okay. But to me, I just liked it because not every problem is a problem. Sometimes, and their software called it a matter. And then I talked to another law firm for something else, and they just said, oh, well, we have matters like that all the time. I'm like, matter? You just use the term matters. Is that industry standard for law? They're like, yeah, I mean, not everything's a problem. I'm like, oh my God, this is really cool. Matters. Even in IT, I guess we can call it matters. And that's where matters came from. And when I looked at projects, I was like, well, they're basically objectives. And companies have to have initiatives, and they build objectives off those initiatives. And then you have tasks based off of those. Like, I didn't recreate the wheel here. I just saw how people were labeling, categorizing things. Small business needs a structure. So I created a standard. I'm already managing all their tech stacks and the one answering things and communicating with them what needs to happen. So why not set standards and train people on those standards so I'm not the only one giving that level of quality? That's how this all works. It's pretty simple, really. But I built the MTP and objectives versus matters to help me help people better. That's why I did it. And what I've learned is there's a lot of value in that. It's fucking awesome. It's really dope. And what I want to do is be able to take this model right here. Come on. Thank you. Finally doing what you're supposed to do. A company's identity is made up. Well, I guess I don't have it written down here. The company's identity is made up of their offerings, their principles, their culture, pedagogical, how do they learn things, everything about that company, and their initiatives. What's important there, because their initiatives are the things that we need to work on, the things we can control to get them to their desired state, to help them on their journey to get to their desired state. That's right here, their initiatives, right? So identity is made up of internal, external communications, and we have to look at their tech stack, which is made up of the provided and managed side of their tech stack, and align that with their workforce, which is made up of gatekeepers, leads, and influencers. And when we have all three of those aligned, oh my God, everybody knows what to do. Everybody's talking the same lingo, to huddle up, to prepare for an objective, and to make a plan and break and hike, execute, wrap up that objective, come back, next objective, hike, go. And what we do is we get these reps in, and you get better and stronger as a team, communicating and knocking out projects. And this is what I have seen in real world. I've done this with multiple teams already. And I used to go to play a show, and I'd see a few people, because we weren't famous or anything, but there was a few people that come along or come to our practices, and they'd show up at shows and they would be singing along with it. There's a certain feeling that you get when you're up there performing and you see people getting into it, and they're singing along with you and stuff. Like, it's a very powerful feeling, like you're in control to some degree. And I'm not a narcissist. I know I have narcissistic tendencies, but I'm not a narcissist. I'm somebody that's just, I really like getting up in front of a crowd and the feeling you get from people being pumped up from shit that you made or something you're doing. Like, there's a high getting up on that stage and performing and just having people cheer. And yeah, the same feeling I get when I see somebody adopting my workflows, adopting the workflows that I feel are important. Like, again, I'm trying to work on how I talk, because it's not all about me. I can come off self-centered, but really I am excited to help people. That's what I thrive on. And by helping individuals, I feel like I could literally do this on my own. I probably could find a few millionaires to really help them get where they want to get, or help a few people become millionaires. And I really wouldn't have to work with teams and all this stuff, but I enjoy it. I enjoy working with small businesses. I like that I have a wood shop, a dentist office, a veterinary office, a doggy daycare, a branding company, a packaging company, a printing company. Like, I'm managing the technology for all these companies. I'm the IT department for all these different amazing industries, and the wealth of knowledge I'm gaining from that, it's amazing. And there's so many people out there that need help. There's so many small businesses out there that need help. I did a little, I did some research finding how many demographics are in my 10-mile radius, and there's like 15,000 plus. And I'm just like, fuck. So that's why I'm giving all this out for free. I'm happy to, like, my business partner that's been pushing back on this thing, he uses it, but he only uses the parts that he understands and doesn't want to understand the big picture because he thinks it's a waste of time. But the funny thing is, things I've been talking to him about for 5 years, when he finally gets the thing that connects him to be useful, he's like, oh, that's how that works? I wish I would have known that. Like, if you would accept the fact that this is a good thing and you'd be picking it up, and we're getting there. I used to cuss him out because it's just so frustrating seeing people beating their heads up against the wall, and you're like, why the fuck are you doing that? And now I'm sitting back with the confidence of, you know what? He's not going to work with me until he gets it, until he accepts it. So I sit back now, and now I get phone calls being cussed out saying, I can't fucking do anything because I can't get me a fucking server. Like, guy, I've given you a server months ago for your lab environment, but you didn't use it. And then I gave you one in production last week when you started bitching about it, and your text had been in his ball court this whole time, but you guys are sitting here fucking doing whatever the fuck you're doing, and shit's not moving forward. So what do you want me to do exactly? I'm happy to help you. And this is just one client, and he has all these clients. I'm thinking to myself, you know, I'm doing everything that I can to help keep that relationship between the client and him good. I'm not going to go above and beyond and do everything I've been doing for him, because that wouldn't take us both collaborating on the MTP. And when we do things together, I'm following the MTP, he's not. It's very, very frustrating, because the constant rework or the constant touches on things and just, I'm over it. I'm so far over it that even I have enough people to support right now, and I'm taking good care of everybody. Everything's in a good place, but I am right now preparing for the next thing. A client could leave. A couple clients could leave. Hell, something could happen, like catastrophe happen, and businesses, like a recession could happen after this election. There could be a civil war. Who knows what's coming down the pipeline? When you have the confidence to know that you have the skill set, you have the mindset, the frameworks to keep your stress at bay. Like, man, I guess I'm really excited today because I've had a lot of good breakthroughs. It's been a very stressful week, but a lot of great breakthroughs, and I'm feeling really good about where I am. I got to remind myself that, I'm still a peon in a very big sea. Like, I'm just this little guy in this big, huge ocean of money and people and technology, and just being solid with my place in it and knowing where I am and where I want to go. And getting good at structuring my focus and thoughts. That's what objectives and matters have gotten me. Everything we do is based off objectives versus matters. And if you can start qualifying through your day and just stick to the two pipelines, everything that comes across your plate, if it's something that you can deal with right now, it only takes you a minute to do, get that matter out of your way. If it's a matter that you can have somebody else do, get that son of a bitch off. Get it to them. Make sure you have somebody to do it consistently and let them know that, hey, listen, every time I send an email to this thing here, you need to execute on that right away. This is our little system. Can we do that? Can we agree to that? And what you do is that's one of 1,000 cuts. You keep building cut after cut after cut. And what you're going to realize as you're working, you're going to look back one day and you're like, oh my God, I got a model here. It's actually taking shape. And this objectives versus matters thing, as people go on their journey and they got to deal with these objectives versus matters, this is huge. Just breaking these things down, having a list of your objectives and taking care of your matters. What you want to do is not just erase them when they're done or check them off. Like, you want them to disappear from your list, but you want to make sure that they're somewhere. I use SharePoint for everything we do. We just create a list for everything we need to track. Matters for us is kept in a PSA, a ticketing system for technology use. And we can manage our projects in there, but I wanted a completely different system because I really wanted to separate objectives and matters. I wanted, and what that's done after I did that, it felt right. So I did it. And after I've done it, because objectives in a whole other system, our meetings, our status meetings are so much faster and clearer. We could have sorted certain things in our ticketing software to get there, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we're getting into, this is the first topic, just so you know, the tracking these objectives, because that's how you are making sure you're making progress. Now, let's see. So the way objectives works for us, if it's a small client, they don't need this level of objectives. But if you're a small client, you should just have a list of objectives, and you can make categories and keep your list clean that way. But when we go into a larger organization with multiple departments, roughly 100 people, we want to make sure that we're a little bit more structured than just having a list of objectives. Because we're going to have, not everybody needs to know the initiatives of the company. Not everybody needs to know or be able to put objectives in. So we have rules around how this works. But first of all, we start with the identity, which you guys saw that earlier. you guys saw, we'll call this the identity. And what we do is based off that identity, we come up with your initiatives. And these initiatives, what the hell is that? These initiatives are to get us to our desired ID. Okay. So we have initiatives, we have our objectives, and only Gatekeeper and the VCIO can do initiatives. That's it. For objectives in a big organization, only the department heads can do this. They're the only ones that can do the objectives, but they can assign tasks to anybody. So here's the thing. When you have this plan and you have it all listed out, wouldn't it be great if it all just went according to plan? Wouldn't it be great if it was just smooth sailing and you got from start to finish with these? I would agree. That would be super dope. But there's something that we have to deal with, and it's called life. And we're not going to label this as life. We're going to label this as, you guessed it, matters. Matters are the things that we can't control, that slap you in the face or say, haha, you thought that project was going to go on time, or aha, you thought you were going to get to work without a flat tire. Boom. And you want to have, like your car, for instance. For us, we have, a roadside assistance with our insurance. We keep them well maintained. We get notified when the car needs to go into the shop and get maintenance, and we stay up on that. We keep a spare in the vehicle, and if it happens, we know we have Uber as a backup. We have our options, and if it happens, we know it's like walking across the room. If you're in a space, let's say this is you, and you want to go in this door over here. Whoop. I'm practicing drawing. Don't judge me. I think it's kind of shitty that you would do that. There's this door over here that's slightly open, and you're gonna mosey on over here and go through that door. But there happens to be a chair in your way. Now, as you walk your little butt across the room and this chair's in your way, do you throw a fit? Is it just sticking out from the table it's supposed to be in? Do you take the time to push it in? Or do you have to get through that door right away, so you just walk around it? And understanding where you are and your desired state and where you want to go. And just as simple as a scenario as this, when you hit that chair, you can make a quick decision. I need to be in that door 2 minutes ago. That chair's in my way. I don't care if it goes underneath that table. I don't care anything. I'm walking around it and I'm getting in that door. Or you're walking up to it and you notice the chair's not pushed in, but you're supposed to be in that meeting 5 minutes ago. And you're like, you know what? That meeting doesn't even involve me. I may not even be sitting in there anyway. I'm going to go ahead and take the time, push this chair in, bring order to the world, and mosey on that meeting. I'm already 5 minutes late. What's the matter? I mean, all these things speak to decision making and personality traits, like even making those decisions at that granular of a level. And what I'm trying to say is, when you walk with purpose, when you have intention, you have somewhere to be, there's confidence in that. There's fun in that. And what I like about it is I like to think of myself as a fun person. Someone likes to get out and do things and do what, all that good stuff. But my strategy nowadays is to make sure that I have a good work-life, fabric is what I call it. There is no such thing as work-life balance. I like to have fun in everything I'm doing. Like this right here, a lot of people are like, this is really nerdy, geeky. This isn't doing something fun and entertaining on you're a YouTube influencer or a streamer, and you're on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitch and all these things, and you're talking about workforce development and personal development and helping people use technology better to get to their desires. Like, what? That's not fun, is it? To me, I love it. Because here's the thing is, like, when I'm at a concert, but I'm not a paid person at the concert. I'm actually walking around with some cool tech that I love playing with, and I'm taking pictures that people are going to love and give me that feeling of, like, of accomplishment, and that I have purpose, and that I'm adding something positive to the world. Now, if I was just going out taking pictures of hateful shit and spreading hate and things, like, no, I feel like I have fun. It's not just concerts. Like, tomorrow night we're going to WEBN Fireworks. I hope to see some of you there. And at WEBN Fireworks, oh, going to be beautiful. I can't wait, because we got 90s theme. I'm telling the wife we gotta go to the store today. I want to get some stuff for the 90s theme. All right, let's recalibrate for a second. I am really going off the rails. I mean, I got that sleep last night. I've had 2, maybe 3 Red Bulls already today. I got to cut off the Red Bulls for the day. It's lemonade and water from here on out, which probably still isn't as healthy. But yeah, I feel good. I'm wired, and I'm all over the place. And sorry, I'm having such a ADD moment here on camera. It does feel good though. Like, all the frameworks we have. I gotta get a website done. Oh, there's so much to do. And this creative tech thing right here, I will tell you that there's another Joe Sunderman that I talked about last week's episode. I need to schedule time with him. Greg Goshorn, I got to schedule time with you. That nice lady, I can't remember her name right now, but from the art center here in Cincinnati. Like, there's so many people that I need to reach out to and set up time with, and you get so busy in this work. I've been down here in this basement working since fucking 6 o'clock this morning, just getting things done and working on things, testing out this. I figured out this iPad on the screen thing. Like, this, to me, I think this is kind of cool. I definitely want to get good at this, and this is me practicing on screen, and I don't really give a shit, because I don't think it's going to affect anybody if I'm making an idiot of myself, right? Ooh, I like that better. A little thicker. See how that translates on screen. Yeah, that's a little bit easier, especially on the small screen. It's much easier to see. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to stick to that thickness. Stick to that thickness. All right. Woo! Awesome. NM4 is working out great, everybody. It does have a lot. It's a nice device, but I'm running 18 on this right now, and it apparently has some Apple Intelligence in here. I'm not going to play around with any of that, but I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, boy. For all I know, I probably have a damn software update. Yep. 18.1 beta 3. Yeah, I already got it turned on, bitches. Woo-hoo! Oh, that's nice. All right, we're done with that guy. So, oh, this is kind of cool too. I've been working on a couple things here. Let's do this. So I got, as you can see, I got a couple cameras set up here. So today, some of the improvements I've been making the show today. If you look, there's that purple gradient going on in the background here. That's new. I downloaded that because part of IKORA's. I've been thinking about this a little bit. And I'd love to get everybody's feedback on it. I have not started a Creative Tech LLC yet. It's a lab underneath IKORA, but I'm like, this can actually be a thing. IKORA is a DBA under the IKORA group, and that's what we do business as for the Master Tech Plan. Creative Tech, I think I'm actually sticking that underneath the IKORA group as well, and just going to have Creative Tech as the DBA, and it's going to be focused on individuals where IKORA is focused on teams. Yeah, boy, we're getting there. All right. So I feel like we kind of went over topic 2 to some degree. What all this is about strategy. One of the big things here is that as you're doing your objectives, like I said, if you don't know where you're going and you're knocking out objectives and matters blindly, you could be taking yourself further away from a desired state. Like if you actually took time, you might say, oh, someday I'm going to own a beautiful home and a car. I'm going to work on that someday. Right now, I'm going to just try to survive and do my job day to day and keep it at that. And I'm going to tell you right now that is a lot like saying, I will start training for football after I get picked by the right NFL team. Then I'll start training. No, you can't. No. Nope. Those people got to the NFL and got drafted because they are on their grind, showing their dedication and busting their ass. And you don't have to be you don't have to be in school or college to go play for the NFL. If you have the talent, you have the skill set, you have the physical and mental capabilities, you have to prove yourself. And you're not going to go up and say, you know what? I just found out that I meet all the requirements. I'm ready to play. You have to say, hey, you know what? I just found out I have all the requirements and I started working on myself 2 years ago and my conditioning is amazing. Here's my consistency and my results. And I will continue to show up. If like people want to see that you're in the game. And if you think that just having a coach pick you is a way to go about it, no, there's certain things like if you want to buy a nice house, there's nobody there other than the loan officer to approve things. The only thing you have to do is make sure you have the income coming. So if you have to have the income coming to do that, and you're just going to your job surviving for now, is there a career path on that job? Is there potential for you to make the money you need from that job? And if so, great. Then you know the answer is to dedicate yourself and get that job, put the time into that job to get you where you need to be. Unless you don't like working that job. You know, is the house the only thing important to you? You don't really care how your time's spent. I'll work 8 hours somewhere doing whatever and in order to live in that house. For me, I'd rather focus on what I'm going to be doing every day than to focus on the house I'm going to be living in. That would come second, because as long as I get to enjoy my day every day, I go to work where I feel I feel validated by what I do and those around me. That's my requirements to be happy, and that's my desired state. And I really didn't know that until I found myself in that position. It's kind of weird. So to strategize yourself, to get yourself on path to get to your desired state, what you need to do is start listing out all the objectives. And you can start big with the initiatives. Buying a house would be an initiative. Like starting a family would be an initiative. Working to increase your income would be an initiative. What kind of objectives could you break off of that? For me, I want to play music again someday and perform on stage. That's something I want to do. Kick it around in my head a little bit. I've said it to the wife a few times. I haven't really taken it seriously, but I'm starting to think, yeah, I want to give it another go eventually. I don't know when. I mean, right now is not good. I'm still developing the MTP, but I know there's going to be a time where things are going to be lined up for the MTP to where I can step away more. And when it gets there, I don't want to start working on playing music then. So if I start now, and I already have, I started playing guitar nightly and piano nightly and just practicing 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. But all I'm doing is, I'm training, I'm preparing, because I know at some point there's a very good chance that I'm going to, how hard would it be to find a group of guys that already have an hour set put together and they need somebody else to come in, and God, if I get to go into a band and help them out, I don't want to go in there and make, hey guys, I'm gonna come in here and make you super awesome. I just know that if I go in there without expectations, I know just because of how awesome I am, that we're going to be that much more awesome. That's the mindset. That's the framework. That's the having the confidence in knowing what value you bring, and that you have the communication skills to figure out whether you will be accepted or not, and to have positive engagement with them regardless either way, and to know that you're just going to be happy and enjoy the ride. Yeah. The old Joe that wasn't trained or had mentors and knew all this growing up would go in a place and see them not aligning with my ways and be like, you guys are fucking stupid. This fucking isn't going to work. I'm out of here. You guys are stupid. Like, yeah. All right. We got 10 minutes left. Let's go ahead and get into the last topic here. Let's talk 10 minutes about what you need to do. You need to take action. There's a formula here to these sessions we do. We find a focus, something we want to really dive into and get our hands all over and truly deep dive into what it is and what makes it its thing. And we picked objectives today. Kind of wung it because I was running out of time, and something I've been working a lot on the last couple of weeks has been the admin pipeline and the objective pipeline and getting objectives figured out. So I was like, you know what? Great topic. It's something top of mind. I can talk in depth about it. Let's go. Sat here for about, an hour fighting with AI to say, hey, let's do our formula. I've worked with you now for 6 months building out this sessions thing. Let's see if we can't get this done in 10 minutes. And it started doing things so bad. I'm like, I think I need to blow away my whole GPT account. They've either done something to fuck up its ability to read between the lines and help stay on point, or I've built GPTs that have fucked up my ability to do that. Something's happened, and I just want to reset the whole thing. 3.5 seemed to be doing a lot better with certain understandings and working. It felt more collaborative, where now it feels like all it's doing is taking what I say, regardless of whether it's proper or trying to get it to give me the essence of what I'm saying and say it better, like I know it can, and it's just like repeating what I said just differently. Like, it's very frustrating. But taking action and having this formula that allows me to come up with the why, how, and what for the focus. It's very difficult to have this objective and to keep running into something very consistently being a problem, like AI not helping the way I think it should. There's always friction in everything we do. Oh my goodness. Give me just a second, everybody. All right. The wife just decided to start cleaning and slamming things upstairs, and I can't even hear myself think. I had to go ask her nicely to just give me 5-10 minutes. Oh, how much time do we have? Yeah, we only got 7 minutes. 6 minutes. What a ride. I gotta get structure of these damn things. I'm going to start pushing these out and doing ads and things of that nature for another 6 months from now. So I got to get this figured out. I got another 6 months to figure it out. Hell, fuck that. No. I got a year and 6 months to figure it out. The guy told me that I got to do 100 episodes to get good. I was like, well, you can't get there quicker. You can't get there with 50 episodes. He's like, nope, I'm telling you, it's 100 episodes. Don't even try to go around that. And like I say to everybody that gives me a challenge, like, challenge accepted. And will I be I guess whatever his understanding of good. I get what he's trying to say, but like to put a formula on it that is exactly 100, I don't know. Maybe he's right. I know I'd be damn good after 100 of them, way better than I am at 24. I'd hope anyway. So, taking action. What does that look like as a creative tech? Well, start qualifying things that you have to take care of, things that you get delegated to you as a matter or an objective. Now, one thing you don't want to just create a list, because you may already have a list to track your objectives. You might be thinking to yourself, Joe, that's dumb. We already have a way to track our projects for our clients. Idiot. Awesome. I love that. What about how you take care of things such as, like, I had a business tell me that exact same thing when I was helping them. And I was like, okay, well, like, you guys updating your website right now. You guys have a lot of tasks and things to do internally. When I give you guys those tasks to help me, what system are you putting that in? And they're like, well, you keep track of all that. I'm like, no. You guys have tasks and things. You're not in my ticketing system. I email you and I give you these things, and you're always telling me, oh, I got too busy, or I forgot about this. And I believe that's because you're not tracking the things you need to do. In fact, I heard you guys talking about the leak in the bathroom over here. And I also heard you talking about a truck that needed repairs. And you guys were just talking to Tim, and he'll come up and ask you a question, and you'll go ask him a question. I'm like, if you guys were working a certain way, like working from a central system where, things just went to that system, you guys work from that system. I know that some people think, well, we work faster and better without having to do all that bureaucracy shit. I'm like, yeah, but how do you know that maintenance is actually needed? Or how do you know, like, how often that's happening, so you can refer back to it? And then, like, oh, you know what? We've been noticing this maintenance thing happening often. We've been doing maintenance once a year on these trucks. Maybe we should do it every 6 months. That'll cut back the amount. So much you can do when you track your shit. Oh my God. And the only reason why I say this is because I started doing it, and the amounts of benefit, the growth I've seen in myself and those around me, just by simply creating a plan and sticking to that plan and documenting the shit we're doing, and being able to, you start doing that first, you're going to be like, oh, there's too much shit here. We need to start categorizing this and keep it simple. Objectives versus matters. If there's already a way, like we have a ticketing system for tickets, I didn't go create a new list and kept the ticket system. Now I'm tracking this over here. Like, no, tickets are our matters list. That's for that. But what about internally? What about our issues? What happens when our technician needs a new laptop or something? We can agree to keep our tech stack managed and the same thing our clients do, and keep that in the PSA system. But what if that person needs, to enroll into HR benefits or whatever it may be? Well, that's a matter or an objective internally, depending on however you would break that down. If you're not tracking things like that, how do you stay on top of that stuff? It's important. And if you're a business, you need to be doing it. And I'm telling you right now, I want to grow to a big company. I don't have to track and build all these systems and all this and that for the size I am right now. I could kick back and take a vacation, maybe go get a fucking part-time job and start making some extra money on the side. There's a lot of things I could do with my time other than developing the MTP and developing creative tech and starting a production studio. There's so much more I could be doing, like playing video games, traveling the world, enjoying my successes. But again, what happens if a client leaves and I didn't do any work to bring in new clients? What happens if I just sit back and take it in? That's what I'm trying to say. I had a client ask me the other day during a session with an admin team. He said, what happens if you're already at your desired state? Then why would you need to do any of this? I was like, do you think you're ever at a desired state? I'll tell you what, when you think you're at a desired state and you're comfortable and you just kick back and stop doing all this shit, watch how quickly your business deteriorates. You're on your way up. You got the trajectory going up, but what's going to happen is you're going to start plateauing because you took it easy, and now you're plateaued. You're at that desired state, so you're just going to take it easy. What happens is this technology gets outdated, and somebody else picks it up better, and you don't realize it, but now you're starting to do this. Oh, look, there's this new product out there that you didn't know about because you're so chill in your area, and now everybody's starting to use that new product, and you're losing even more business. And you're like, what the fuck happened? Now you come back to the table, like, you know what? Maybe we should look at that strategy thing. Oh, it's too late. You're already done. Fuck. Your business is year after year doing this, and to do the work to get back to that level, and you're going forward again. Yeah, you do not have the time, the resources to get there. You might as well just pack it in, sell what you have to somebody else already doing it well, so you can cash out with what you got. Something, because you done fucked the pooch. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm making all this up as I go, just so you're all clear. Tomorrow night, WEBN fireworks. Wait a minute. It is 90s theme, right? 90s theme. Hope to see you there. I got some awesome pictures in 2022. I didn't get to go last year, but this year we're going. It's going to be great, and I will be here next Saturday with hopefully a session that I've perfected in every way, and you guys will see the very first ever perfect session. Not going to happen, but we can always hope for it. All right. I have no idea why I even did this today. I did not start on the session until like 10 o'clock. It's been a rough week. Next week, I'm hoping. Oh, next week's going to be even worse. By the way, shit. Midwest Con, September 4th, 5th, and 6th. The hackathon is going on right now. If you think you have an idea and you can get it in before the fucking what is today? You got to have this thing submitted by midnight on the 3rd, I believe. Outlook. Calendar. Oh, shit, man. Yeah. Before 11:59 p.m. on Tuesday, you have to submit your project. And if you submit it, and on the 5th, if they pick you to be in the top 20%, then they're going to start judging on the 5th, the top 20%. And then the top 10% from that 20% gets to showcase their work on day 2 of Midwest Con. And the judges are going to judge all those demonstrations on day 2. And then they're going to pick the top 3 from that 10% of the 20% from all the people that did it. And the top 3 go on the last day, September 6th, which is next Friday. And the person that wins first place, I believe it's $25,000 in cash prizes. And there's another $25,000 in prizes with a mix of like Microsoft Azure tokens or something, and other like Notion, Red Bull's giving away a lot of shit. Like, it's pretty cool. It really is. And I can't wait until we move on to doing events for IKORA. I'm supposed to have my first one December 6th. I feel like that's tomorrow at this rate, but yeah, we'll get there. All right. We need to wrap this up. We're over our time. Thanks everybody for coming and checking it out. I love you all. I hope that we can collaborate at some point. Go to tribe.creativetech.ai, join the tribe, go to align.creativetech.ai, fill out the form if you like, grab a cup of coffee, sit back. It's a pretty long form, deep dive into it. Get that over here, and I'm happy to go over it with you when you go to sessions.creativetech.ai and schedule your free first session. And right now, all sessions are free. It's not just one. Just in this season, while I have time and capacity for it, I'm doing free sessions. So if you want to sign up and start doing sessions, get ahead of the curve, great. You could become one of the first ones to start providing sessions to others as part of this platform as we grow. So please get involved. I'm Joseph Sonderman, Creative Tech. Keep it heavy, keep it real, and I'll see you next Saturday. Peace.